We've got to talk about this Fanatec CSL direct drive and how it has the capacity to change the sim racing landscape in very significant ways for the coming years. Over the course of the last decade, the improvements in sim racing equipment have been small increments every couple of years, both in terms of performance and in terms of technology. And it worked this way for all price points. Every price point also did its thing and had its preferred drive technology. Lower tiers had gear drive, mid tiers belt drive, and tiers on top, they would have direct drive. So Fanatec delivering to one of the most popular price points a direct drive solution is something totally disruptive, as Trustmaster agrees. But before going to the topic, a few corrections. In the previous video I made a few wrong statements. The CSL won't be an outrunner motor, it will be a flux barrier, and it has the possibility to be side mounted with T-slots. That out of the way, don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing for more videos. Onto the topic itself, there's more than meets the eye in terms of a release like this. This is as much as a massive improvement in a sim racing lineup as it is a disruption and a flex from Fanatec. The last decade was more or less predictable. You spent a certain amount, it would land you more or less in a certain tier and certain technology. Every couple of years, the product would be refreshed, maybe it would get a little bit better. Direct drive was always better, but out of reach of most people, and that's why I never really meshed with it, and even on my DD1 review I was like, meh. In this case, it is a disruption to the market as it brings a fabled, out of reach technology for mere mortals into the hands of a great number of sim racing buyers. Granted, there have been direct drives with similar torque numbers for years, such as the Simplicity SW8, of which the CSL DD will also share its space with, but buying a wheelbase is not only that, it's also buying peripherals, on which case being part of an ecosystem and having brand recognition, which Fanatec also has, is a huge advantage. Ecosystems are the reason why other brands like Logitech and Trustmaster are so popular as well. You get into an ecosystem, you tend to stick there, you buy their other products even if they aren't always related with sim racing. In some cases, the bundles are so attractive in terms of price to performance, they can be the main draw for the bundle itself. Hence, Logitech wheels, which are bundled with pedals, are so popular, even when they come at full price. A little bit above, the T300 and TS ranges by Trustmaster are also hugely popular for the same reason. They have a good price to performance ratio. However, a direct drive wheel at these price points, they shake things up to the core. See, in my optics, sim racing equipment is tiered into groups. Something like a G29 goes to a tier 1, stuff like the Hori to a tier 0, tier 2 will be T300, tier 3 would be something like a CSL or a TS, 4 and above, direct drive wheels, you can put them how you want it. Some wheels are in the cusp of the tier above or below, with this logic also working for pedals as well. This tier system is not totally scientific of course, but it's just to demonstrate a point. You see, consumers sometimes have the practice of buying something more expensive if they feel they can get more value for their money. For example, some of the most popular videos in this channel are the ones comparing popular wheels from different tiers. While these videos might irk some viewers that complain the wheels are not comparable, they miss the point of these videos entirely. These videos aren't made to be a fair comparison. They are meant to answer consumer purchasing dynamics of buying up or down the tiers, which happens really frequently. Consumers targeting Logitech G wheels sometimes buy the T300s. Consumers targeting the T300 sometimes go for the TS or the CSL, or vice versa. The banter in Twitter is funny and all, but the other companies, especially Trustmaster, understand now that they have to really step up their game or they risk losing a lot of these sales at around the price point that the CSL DD is going to release. Trustmaster cannot just release another belt wheel at the price they normally do because it's automatically outdated and outgunned. Critics will say that it's only the base that is $350. At the time you get everything, it will be closer to $700. This is true, but they are underestimating the amount of people that already moved their targets up tiers in the current landscape, and also they are underestimating how much of a hook a direct drive is. The previous CSL Elite base was already that price point and it sold really well, and they even drew people that were eyeing T300s. With the direct drive CSL, well, you can now get the picture of what's going to happen. The released price point is essentially shaking things up. At $350, it will be a drop-in substitute to the CSL Elite, albeit it will have one less Newton meter of torque. but it's still comparable to whatever is available right now. But here's the thing, 5 Nm in a direct drive is far snappier than the same level of torque in a belt drive. The boost pack will increase the torque level to 8 Nm, which should be a direct replacement to the current CSW, unless of course they decide to do a CSW direct drive down the line. Unfortunately, they haven't released a price for it, so I'm thinking about 50 to 100-ish euros. If that's the case, it will solidify their position in the market, as this price point will also target lower powered direct drive wheels, especially the Magic M10. With one product, they will essentially capture buyers of various tiers. However, massive word of caution here, these news are exciting indeed, but it still needs to be known if the product will actually deliver. This design has no fans at all, so the whole wheel should have to be designed to be a massive heatsink. Belt drives, Fanatec and non-Fanatec alike, have broken down because of fan failure, so it remains to be seen if the CSL DD can be reliable with a fanless design, especially with a more powerful power supply. As such, wait for reviews, compare them, ask questions, and especially wait for real consumer reviews. In paper, this wheelbase has the possibility of disrupting the whole market, but it also has the possibility to be an expensive paperweight. Time will tell.